evening, everyone, from Nashville. I'm Charles Brown, Portfolio Manager with CB3 Financial, and it's Monday, January 4th, 2021, our first program of the new year. We're so glad that you are with us. A whole lot going on this week. Tonight's really just going to be a precursor for what's going to happen on Thursday night because there's a lot going on, especially in the political world, between now and Thursday. So let's get going. As you know, this is the Monday Market Mashup. We're here every Monday night for you around 7 o'clock Central Time. For those of you that are new to the program, be sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube and click the little bell so you get notified when we go live or when we upload a video. I'll be tweeting this week on a regular basis. I always do on a daily basis, but if things happen intraday, especially with the Georgia runoff tomorrow and the electoral vote counting with Vice President Pence on Wednesday, I may be tweeting in between, the early morning tweets that I normally put out, but hope you'll be part of that. Tonight is the 2020 market review, and of course this is just a light version. The full version will be on Thursday night, and a huge political week ahead. That'll be in the third segment tonight. So Corona America, this has been a topic, it's been part of the program really since March. The data is really not any better at all. In fact, over the course of the summer and the early autumn, we thought we were turning a corner on this, but we are at 300,000 cases, 350,000 U.S. deaths. I mean, there was a time when they thought, obviously, that if we had done nothing, the CDC was saying we could have 2 million deaths. So this is far, far better than that, but that's still a lot of deaths. What we really don't know, and I don't think we'll know for years, is how many people died from COVID-19 and how many people died with COVID-19, and actually their demise was some other morbidity issue. So you can see on the chart, we had that nice fall off into September. We thought we were going to go down to a relatively low amount, and then it just stepped up big time from there. Very frustrating, for all of us as Americans. Obviously, it's crimped our lifestyle. It's endangered our elderly loved ones, actually all ages, but especially our elderly loved ones. Fortunately, as you guys know from my shows back in December, I think it's been 3 weeks since I've been on the air, we do have vaccines. They are being administered. Now we're even seeing that they're talking about using half doses so they can get the vaccine to more people, even if it means people have to come back and take the rest of the full dose. But just trying to get it out there to as many people as they can. In the U.S. economy, it's pretty much been a great story. Last year, these are last year's numbers now, 43.6% in the NASDAQ, 16 in the S&P, 7 in the Dow. So big performance difference depending on the asset class. And then the Russell, which lagged all year long, actually finished second, a distant second, of course, behind the NASDAQ, but that's still some real good numbers there. As far as our programs, now people have asked me about this, so what am I showing you? I'm showing you actual track records. These are my accounts at Interactive Brokers. That's why you see the black on the screen, because I don't think it's a good idea to put my actual account number out there. But our CG program was up 62 and change last year. Really strong performance. We're the blue bar there. If you have questions about this, I'll be happy to answer them at any time. I do get questions on occasion every few weeks or so. Kind of surprised I don't get more actually with this performance. Our SG program with strategic growth up about 1.5 points more than that. So just a little bit stronger. But again, you can see the blue line there, comparing it to the S&P, the EFA, which is the European markets, and then the Vanguard 5,000. Just a huge blowaway there. And I would love to think we could do this every year, but that's our goal anyway. And then our DG program, so this is diversified growth. This is a lot more conservative program. Still up 24, almost 24.5%. This program trades all exchange-traded funds, so no individual stocks, thereby reducing the risk of selection failure, as they call it, but still handily beating the indexes. And real pleased with that. We'll give you more details, including the top performers of each program on Thursday night's program. Elon Musk, you guys know, I'm a fan of his, not so much at a personal level, but certainly as a professional level. His foundation moving to Texas, that was rumored when I was live in December. Now we know it's going to happen. And then he also delivered on his promise to deliver 500,000. Well, it was actually 499,900. 45. I think he missed by 51 cars, but we're going to call that a win for 500,000 deliveries in 2020. It's really an astounding number. And why do we follow this? Because as consumer discretionary goes, so goes the health of the American consumer. And if people can afford to buy new cars, and Tesla right now, as of today, is worth more than GM, Ford, Volkswagen, and just about all the other car companies gathered together, because they taper off significantly from there. But they are just an enormous market cap. Obviously, since I've been live, they went into the S&P 500 on December 21st, the largest entry ever into the S&P 500. I'll have more on Tesla, not because I'm promoting Tesla necessarily, but because I'm promoting what they are representing, which is discretionary income, people willing to spend money on a new technology like this. And I think that bodes well for the general economy and therefore for the general stock market. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room, the 2020 election. You say, well, this is 2021. Well, we all know that the 2020 election just won't go away like a really bad cold or really bad flu. It's still with us, and it's first off with us tomorrow in Georgia. And why is this so important? The Loeffler, Warnock, Perdue, Ossoff, I may not have his name correctly pronounced there, but they are in two races right now in the Senate. The Republicans have 50 seats, and the Democrats have 48 seats. So were the Republicans to lose both of these tomorrow, it would be tied at 50-50. But since the vice president, at least as of now, is slated to be Kamala Harris, she would actually be the tie-breaking vote, meaning that Chuck Schumer would be the majority leader and Mitch McConnell would be the minority leader in 2 weeks when the president's elected. So we'll see how that works out, but really a whole lot in play there, especially could not be more different. The two Republicans here on the left are the incumbents. Okay, so they are the ones to beat, so to speak. But there has been just a ton of money going into this race. Reportedly, Facebook, Zuckerberg has put in almost $500 million. I know it just seems a ridiculous number, but into a state Senate race of his own money, $500 million. Well, we learned from Michael Bloomberg and his failed candidacy that you can't necessarily buy an election, but you certainly can't influence one. And that's what they're trying to do. And you might say, well, this is just one election tomorrow. Well, they've been starting this just a couple weeks after the general election on November 3rd. The absentee ballot started, and then voter registration. You know, you could register even if you didn't vote in the general election on November 3rd. You could still come to the state, move to the state, and indeed, I hear people, especially on the Democrat side, moving to the state of Georgia so they can vote on this. Early voting began, I should say, on the 14th of December, and there are all over already more than 2 million votes recorded in Georgia, which is not a huge state, okay? And then the actual election is tomorrow. So, guys, I'll have a lot of information for you on Thursday. I hope you'll tune in and watch us that night. But in addition to that, on Wednesday this week, Vice President Pence is going to do what has normally been just a ceremonial opening the electoral votes, counting them, and announcing who the winner is. Well, we're not sure what's going to happen on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. You can see here it begins 1 o'clock Eastern, noon our time here Central. There are quite a few senators and quite a few representatives that are going to protest this and perhaps send it back to their chambers for debate. Now, they can debate all they want. The Democrats control the House, and the Republicans, while they do control the Senate, there aren't enough Republicans that are behind Ted Cruz from Texas and these others that are protesting this. I think that the measure is going to fail, and I think that at this point, there's just no indication that Joe Biden will not be president. It sounds like a double negative. Every indication is that Joe Biden is going to be president, but I realize I have some viewers of this program that think that I am a heretic for saying that, but I'm just calling it as I see it for my viewers. Unless some miracle Hail Mary happens on Wednesday, Joe Biden will be inaugurated on Wednesday the 20th, all right? But something could happen, and I will be here live Thursday night for the first broadcast from Nashville's first live broadcast. And I hope you guys will be here for that. The unusual part about this is that no incumbent president has lost an election in more than a century and a half who gained more votes than in the previous. So this is a re-election attempt. Trump got almost 11 million more votes and still lost. It's just kind of hard to believe, really, but that's the reality. That's what happened. So my words of wisdom for today: democracy must be something more than two wolves and a sheep voting on what to have for dinner. That may not seem too appropriate, but to me it is, because basically, in my opinion, you've got the Democrat Party and the media basically deciding the political agenda for this country. We do not have a non-biased media. We haven't had for years, but we certainly don't now. And I thought that this was appropriate for the day. All right. Just giving you a heads up, Thursday night, we're going to be talking about 2020 in review with a lot more data than I showed you tonight, and a 2021 preview of what I think the market's going to do. You'll want to be here for that, as well as the political chaos aftermath. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. This has been our first show from Nashville. Really glad to be here. I'll tell you more about that move when I see you Thursday night. I am Charles Brown, Portfolio Manager with CB3 Financial, where we don't just manage your assets, we become one of them. We will see you Thursday night.